us?
Barbara Keyes, Keyse, Rocco, Rockow.
Okay, and you want to look at me?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's great. So Barbara, I asked Ralph this, and I also, as I just shared moments ago, wanted to share it with you. Why do you keep coming back year after year? What is this Ohio roots that you so cherish and value all about?
It's been such a wonderful place to be raised, to grow up in this mostly rural community, small town America.
I would just have you start over by saying Ohio or Madison, Ohio, or however, just so we know where we're talking about.
Okay. Yes, Madison, Ohio has been a wonderful place to be raised, to grow up in small town Ohio, small high schools, many classmates. We just keep coming back every year to see some family that still remains here, but a lot of classmates from both Ralph's Perry and my Madison.
And so, but there's something here. You actually make this a part of your annual calendar, your vacation, you know, when you look at your year, you plan this week in August to come, and you're pretty religious about it.
Yes, you could call it religion. we do. It's as long as we're able, we'll do it. And in our 80s now, we're still doing it.
But why? What's really here? It's more than visiting, isn't it?
Well, it's place, it's people, and the connections are just still here after all these years. 60 years?
It's home.
Yes, it is home. Even after having lived in Southern California and almost 50 years now in Phoenix, this is home.
So help me understand what the connection is to the tavern for you. Because both of you were very pulled into the project, and you, I think, did a lot of thinking about it, but what is the pull there for you?
It goes back to the friends and the relationships here. A high school classmate of mine grew up on West Main Street in Madison, and because we could see progress with the tavern was deteriorating, and Carolyn Ratola Malin kept saying to Ralph, "Buy the tavern, Ralph. You buy the tavern. You got to buy the tavern." Well, we didn't buy the tavern, but the bug was there to save the tavern. And when we heard from Bob Wickert that there was actually a group to preserve and save the tavern, we were in.
And do you remember when you first made the call or sent an email to one of our board members or organizers? Do you remember what that was like?
We called Erin Cicero and had a few conversations with her, I think, as to how we could become involved, and boom, we did.
So, you know, the great thing about both of you is that you really know the tavern as a part of your life here and how it evolved. And year after year, you would come back and you would visit. And you knew it very, very well as a bustling center of activity there. Can you share a couple of memories about what the tavern, some memories of just your own experience there?
Absolutely. Through the years, I would go there with my mother, maybe some of her lady friends when I maybe preteen, and then through the years, I can remember having a county 4-H meeting there of young people, more early on, I would say, and then my high school 10th class reunion, which we do now every year. The 10th anniversary of our high school graduation we had in the ballroom at the tavern, and there have been other occasions when we've been there. And then in our married life, we've met family there for lunches. And my girlfriends and I, when I'm back here, we would go to lunch at the tavern.
A lot of happy times.
Absolutely happy times.
So when the tavern fell into not so happy times and you guys were, you know, coming back every year and you saw what was going on, what were you thinking?
It went back to the girlfriend, Carolyn, Ralph, by the tavern, by the tavern. We have to do something. This is criminal to let a historical place such as the tavern has, from the days of the Underground Railroad and celebrities coming through on this route, staying there. It has such a long history. We just couldn't let it go.
I would say that really goes to stewardship, to being citizens of a sense of place. And you've been such examples to this community, even though you've left. You're great examples of why people need to preserve and respect and honor a community's history.
Is that a doorbell?
Yeah. No, I think it's a.
No, I think it's the doorbell.
Here, we'll stop.
I was just about to say, you are long distance, but very much present in this community through our effort, Save the Tavern, because there's a lot of people who are emboldened by your generosity and your vision. And when you hear that, what does that mean to you? Are you even aware of that?
Not so much aware, but we realize how far we have to go with the fundraising and community support. We're encouraging corporations, groups, banks, people, individual people, got to get on board. We have to complete this mission. There are planned phases. We've already finished phase 1. We've received grants from the state of Ohio for historic preservation, and we'll beginning phase 2 shortly. We're still looking for funding for that. So just much encouragement to get folks on board.
And I asked Ralph this, but specifically, you gave the first match. It's publicly known that you stepped up and gave the first match when we got the first grant. Why did you do that? What did you really, that was a substantial sum, but it's really not always about the money, but why did you do that? Tell us why that was important.
Just the full desire to save the tavern. 220 years this year. Had to do it. And with God's blessing, we're able to do it.
And what would you say to other friends or investors or corporations? You all, have a circle of influence where, you meet people who are making big decisions all the time around how they will donate. What do you say to them when you say, why should they care about the tavern? Why should a local Cleveland Foundation, why should as you said, Barbara, a bank? What's the reason? What happens when a tavern like this is saved in a small community?
It brings folks here, I would say, and it can enlighten them, expand their own horizons to know about the history of the Underground Railroad here, and again, the celebrities that have stayed there over the 220 years. Just such a fascinating history that needs to be saved and draw people to this area.
And particularly in a time like this, I say there's so much strife in our country, and this little building seems to unify people, and it gathers people from lots of different perspectives. Do you have any insight as to why?
No.
No, that's okay. I think it gives people a sense they're prideful. They're proud of this place. And I think that they're wanting good stewardship and leadership in ways that they've not been able to tap those kinds of resources. That's what I would say. I don't know. What would you say? What would you just tell your friend? What do you say to Sally Klingbill? Sally, what are we going to do?
Certainly a point of pride for those of us that have grown up here, for those that have been here for a while, for those newly coming to Lake County, to Ashtabula County. This building right between the two counties, between Madison and Unionville, it's a place, a point of pride, and should be, and people should get involved for the saving of the tavern.
And it's interesting, too, that we have so much economic growth happening around the tavern. This is a busy place.
This is good.
Yeah, and the tavern seems to, if it's, comes back to life, it will add to the jobs, to the tourism, to the, other spin-off businesses that happen when something like this is rejuvenated and given, new life. But my question would be, what are the spin-offs of an economic investment like this when a tavern is saved and people come together and it's reimagined again?
I surely believe that it would help the economy of the area to have people make it a destination point, whether they're from other areas of Ohio or even around the country, once we get the word out and realize and can advertise that the tavern is open for business, in whatever form that might take. We're not exactly sure about that now, but mainly we need that funding, and it will help the entire area.
And it's so interesting to see that funding is coming in little by little the more we get the word out. When people are looking at this video, do you in your mind have like 3 reasons as to why they might donate? Do you have like three check marks? And that's a hard thing to ask you right now, maybe, but I mean, what are the 3 big things that make it a good investment?
I would think people would be interested in the historical significance, 220 years, certainly with that background of the Underground Railroad. We need more representation in Northern Ohio about the railroad and how the former slaves escaped across the lake to Canada. Historically, lost my train of thought.
That's okay. We don't have to. This isn't a test.
Economically, certainly, to bring folks to the area because they want to know more about the tavern. Historically, economically, and hopefully then to the fact that they will tell others, wow, there's this neat place.
And it's also fostering what you said too. We want this for the next generation to be there. That's very important.
Okay. Continued generations to be influenced. And
Let me ask you, what does this mean to you, knowing that your role that you're playing in it, in preserving it for future generations?
yes.
Yeah. It's an exciting opportunity to make sure that something is still intact for future generations, because there's so much value, history, knowledge.
Okay. So I would say pointedly historical interest for people locally and around the state of Ohio and even nationally, economically, to bring folks to the area to spend their money, and generationally to carry on to the next generations. Very important.
It is for them to understand a lot of history, but also about the Underground Railroad, what that really was like. That's one of our big selling points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you have to sell Ralph on making the donation, or did he sell you?
It was mutual. Definitely mutual.
Ralph, do you have anything to say about that?
No, I think she's right. I think it's one of the best investments we've probably ever made, too. And we'll continue to follow the progress of this whole thing, because we don't want to be left behind. And we encourage everybody that's listening to this to get involved, particularly those locals here, because it is a landmark that has been around a long, long time, and certainly one that we're very proud of being Buckeyes. And we, I think, should get together. And we're really not talking about a really exorbitant amount of money here. We're talking about something's well within our target zone. And I think all of us, just in the state of Ohio, we could keep this thing going well. And there are a lot of Ohioans that haven't been through and walked through the facility or anything like that. But it'd be a great target for a vacation to come up in this area. And then if we can get literature to bring that all together too, we're talking about early days and how that factored into the entire northern part of our state and what have you when it was originally built.
What do you think? You know, you've left here and you travel all over. Why do you think the tavern has such a pull on people who no longer live here but know about it and hear about it? We have a donation coming from Alaska every year. A woman who came here, her family came here, and she sends us $250 every year to us. What do you think that's about? Seriously, I mean, what's your instinct?
She just visited the tavern,
No,
or
she grew
up
in the
here.
area and then moved to Alaska, and I don't know what she does up there, but she keeps in touch with people, and she makes a donation every year.
I think it's probably because there aren't that many places in Lake County. We have the vineyards, we have the nurseries, but historical landmarks, I don't think we have many of. And that would certainly be one of our reasons to want to save the tavern.
I think that's a good point. If you were to describe the area, Barbara, you've lived here your whole life, you come back. Just if someone would just say, paint me a picture with words, Barbara, of what this community in this area is like, what would you say?
This is on the shores of Lake Erie. We have the three ridges, and the roads are named that way: North Ridge, Middle Ridge, and South Ridge, because of the glaciers and the lakes. And so that is kind of my roots of learning about the area. It's beautiful on the shores of Lake Erie. It is a wonderful area now for grape wine vineyard. When we were growing up, the vineyards were for grape juice. Most of the people sold their grapes to Welch's grape juice factory in Pennsylvania. But now it's the wine industry, and it has just sprouted. Another reason for people to come here. They love to go to the wineries. And then growing up, again, just small town America, wonderful place, wonderful friends, many relatives, some of whom are still here to visit. And those are my memories of the area.
I think you once said your 4-H group used the ballroom. You were in the sewing club, and is that right? And you sewed upstairs? Had meetings upstairs?
No, we had the young people of Lake County 4-H had a meeting
Okay.
at the tavern. I guess they felt it was a central place to meet.
And it still is a central place to meet. You find even our, fundraising activities or family nights now. The other night, we gathered so many people. And it validates the work. It validates that this sense of place can and will come back. Do you find that?
It really sounds encouraging to hear about these family nights of people bringing kids and music happening. It's exciting, wonderful to be a part of.
And let's do one more time. And Bill, I don't know, do we want to go tight on Barbara? Do we want to pan from Ralph to Barbara? 60 years of marriage, you were about to say, and I said, did you have to convince one or the other to make the donation, or were you in sync?
So here we are, married 60 years, don't agree on everything, but when it came to the tavern, there has been no question. We are in there, we're supporting, and we encourage anyone who's listening and viewing this to get on board. It's important.
And Ralph, you agree, obviously.
Yes, I do really agree. Not only because Barbara's my wife, but I played against Madison in sports all the way through high school. But I really appreciate the whole thing we're talking about. This is a wonderful opportunity to help put Madison on the map and get literature out to everybody in the world, because how many buildings are this old, and there's always something to learn, and and this is a nice part of Ohio, frankly. Northern Ohio is a very ambitious and dynamic place to begin with, so I think the whole thing all fits together beautifully for the future. And it's historic. I think a lot of the schools are using trips to see all this area in Northern Ohio anyway, and this is just adding to the needs and there's a lot of history here.
Absolutely. Well, we are so thankful that you all are stepped up to be the first, hopefully, of many donors, and you're at the top of our...
Well, we'll be back.
You're our pillars. I don't know if you know, they said there's the Rocco pillar out front and the Klingbill pillar out front. I have to tell them that. And we have two more, so we're looking for two more pillars out there.
All right.
And we hope we're going to get them as a result of hearing your story and helping persuade people that it's a great investment for the future.
And we'll think about that. Maybe we can help you a little bit more.
Well, we're grateful for
We got
what you've done.
Klingbill. We'll get the next one.
Well, don't worry, we won't. We'll still keep passing it around. Trust me. Anything else you guys want to say about the project together? About what it means to you both, or any perceptions or other ideas that you want to get across?
Personally, it's just something in our backyard, if you will, where I grew up. And it's a historical type building. It's something that we should be, as Northerners, proud of that. And we have other, how can I say this, models of that throughout our state. So I think this has been long for coming. This should have been done long ago. And it's just it's a very opportune thing. It brings back history, and it's a very nicely done. It's not something where you have to go down a long road, and it's modern in
It's
many
accessible.
respects.
The tavern is accessible simply where it's located.
That's right.
You want to
That's
say
right.
that?
Yes, the tavern is accessible. That makes it one of the beautiful parts of it. That it's, when we get it up and running, people will come. You build it, they'll come.